Alrighty, good afternoon, everybody. It is Jay again, and it is the beginning of May here in Phoenix, Arizona, and it is starting to get really, really hot around here. It is getting into the hundreds, and so I would definitely like to warn a lot of you guys that the heat is coming on, and you definitely want to put up any kind of shade protection that you might have, or you might want to increase the water on your plants because of the heat. But what is it we're going to talk about today? Well, today we are going to be talking about another plant that has somehow escaped the favor of the people here in the valley. And I think a lot of that is because, one, the plants aren't very well known. They're more of a rare plant in the Phoenix area, or a lot of people have not grown this to maturity to where the fruit actually tastes good. So I'll tell you guys, on a lot of these plants, a lot of fruit trees especially, when they're a younger plant, say 2-3 years old, they're never going to give you the fruit quality or the taste that the fruit actually tastes like. So what oftentimes happens is somebody grows the fruit tree here in the valley, and they will try the fruit, and the fruit might not be that great for them. So they make a video or a post on it, and then that plant sort of gets demonized and left to the side and not explored to its full value. Well, this happens to be one of those plants among many. I did the last video on the lemon Cattleya guava, which is also one of those that has not been grown correctly and is also a delicious fruit. So I'm telling you guys, this is also an amazing fruit tree, and I happen to be in the greenhouse right now with these couple plants that I'm going to show you, but these do not have to be grown in a greenhouse. These actually flourish quite well out in the yard in Phoenix, and I've actually got quite a few of these around the yard, and in particular, I've got more of the black varieties than the red varieties. So the plant we're going to be talking about today is going to be a Suriname cherry, or it's also known as patanga. So let me see if I can pull one of its little fruits off here to show you. Like I said, this happens to be a black variety, so it's going to be a really dark fruit. I don't know if you guys can see that. I'm going to put that up into the sun there so you guys can get a visual, and then I'll take it down here in the shade so that you guys can see what it looks like. But it's a really neat looking fruit also, because it kind of looks like a little pumpkin. It's got the little sides that bulge out there, and it's also a very soft fruit. So this is a tropical cherry. But what is really nice about this plant is this happens to be a very nice hedge plant. So there are a lot of hedges that are installed in the Phoenix area. If you guys don't live here, I'll tell you, there's just basically a hedge on everyone's property line, and a lot of people use things like ficus trees or other ornamentals that are kind of boring. And so I'd like people to start trying to put some plants in like this that are not only very beautiful looking, but also produce a fruit. So yes, this is a Suriname cherry. This one happens to be in a 25-gallon pot. This is a bigger example, and it just looks amazing. Of course, here in the greenhouse, it's got these nice big leaves. The leaves will be a little bit smaller out in the yard, but it is extremely productive, and the fruit is delicious on this fruit tree. So this is a black one, and you can see that I've got this one in the greenhouse, and it's kind of creating a hedge border along the back side of the greenhouse to keep it nice and cool. On the other side of this plastic paneling are a bunch of mango trees. And then in the front here, I've got these Suriname cherries that kind of fill in over here on the sides. And this one happens to be a black. And the leaves they get enormous, especially out here in the greenhouse where they're not being burnt. But these will work in the yard, like I said, so don't think you guys have to put these in a greenhouse. I just happen to have these two nice big ones right here at a line which form a hedge, which is more what a lot of you are going for. And this plant looks very inconspicuous, meaning if you just looked at the plant, most people would have no idea, absolutely no idea what this plant is. And especially if you take it to a nursery, a lot of the nurseries around town, with the exception of the tropical nurseries, of course, they'll have no idea what this plant is either. So it's called a Suriname cherry. And like I said, this is the black variety. I'm going to go around and I'm going to show you the red variety, which basically looks exactly the same. Okay, so here I'm on the other side, and this is the red variety, or the red Suriname cherry. And you can see that these make a beautiful, perfect hedge. That's basically exactly how I have them over here on the side, is forming that hedge. So it'd be nice if people started using some of these plants and a little bit more creatively, and start using some things like this for like a hedge plant, or like a lemon guava or pomegranates even, and start using those more as a hedge, because you need a lot of filler trees that fill in the sides. So we've got a lot of upper canopy trees. A lot of the trees that we plant are going to be more of a shade tree or an upper tree. So I think you guys get that concept. I think you're starting to get that, where you need the upper canopy of the shade, which is going to provide all the shade for the upper tree, for the trees that sit below them. Okay, and I think a lot of people are starting to get the concept of mulch and keeping everything nice and cool and green at the base of the tree. But I think the one thing that people are missing down here in Arizona is the filler trees. So all the trees that would kind of fill in between and occupy a space. Because once you start growing a lot of trees in a food forest, you'll start to notice that you end up with a whole bunch of trunks. So like back here in the back behind this, we've got a whole bunch of mango trees, but a lot of them have grown so tall now that they are just trunks. So now the actual tree starts up here above. Well, what do you do to fill in all that space? Because when you've got space, you've got dryness. And when you've got dryness, you have no humidity there. So now a lot of those plants suffer from the humidity. So I need people to start thinking about the middle of the yard, the filler trees, the things that are going to occupy a large space and give you a big green, either a big ball of green like this, or like a hedge. So citrus is also another good choice, because citrus are going to be a nice green ball that are going to fill in your yard and fill in the space. So that's the part I think people are missing, is occupying the space, and they've got too much space in their yard that are open. Now, it's okay to do that as long as you pick certain trees. But a plant like this, I'm telling you, is a perfect filler in the in-between spots to occupy a really good space, or use it as a privacy hedge. So this is the red Suriname cherry. This one is going to be a very bright orange, bright red color. I've already eaten these, so these crop out first, and then the black Suriname cherries come afterwards. So I'm gonna see if I can get back in here, and I can see if I can pick a couple of the black cherries, because I see that there are some that are getting ready. Now it's just a challenge of trying to get to them, because I see some really nice ones that are right up in here. So let me see. Let me pause for a moment. Okay, and I guess also the kind of cool part about it is the fruit is a little bit hard to find. And when you've got fruit that's a little bit hard to find, well then of course the birds aren't going to find it either. And I'm telling you, I love this fruit so much that I'm definitely going to leave one of these here in the greenhouse so that I get all the fruit off of them, because I don't want the birds to get this beautiful fruit. It's got one of the most amazing flavors of any fruit that I've ever had. So let's go ahead and take a couple of these. They just fall right off in your hand. Take this one, and they're just, like I said, they're kind of all over the tree. They're just hiding, and they hide really well. But look at those fruit. Oh my gosh, those are just amazing. Those have the most amazing color. Let's grab a few more. I know there's some more on this thing. There's one there. They're just beautiful. And a really good size. They're actually bigger than they are definitely larger than a real cherry is. And they can get really big, like some of these back here are getting. Oh, of course I dropped the biggest one. I will get that after the video, you best believe. So, okay, I can't reach the rest for this video. I'm gonna have to go kind of digging back in here, but I do have a nice little handful of these. of these cherries here. So let's take these out here and take a look at how these look. So these have an absolute beautiful color. Look at the color on these, and they're absolutely perfect fruits. So like I said, these are the black, these are dark, and these have a very, very, very unique flavor. I can't really describe the flavor. You have to try these. These are another one of those fruits where I can't tell you exactly what they are, but it's a very, very complex flavor, and it's very healthy. I'm telling you, once you start eating these and getting used to the flavor on these, then you will actually seek these out. You will go out and look in the yard and hunt these down and eat them because they are so delicious, and the aftertaste is amazing also. And I can't even begin to describe it. I don't know what this tastes like, and I've had a lot of different fruit before. But I'll tell you, this is one of my absolute favorites. And this is another one that I don't share. And this is another one that you guys, you need to try one. If it's here, if it's at a friend's house, wherever you got to try one of these. And I'll tell you, that's the most unique flavor profile fruit of anything I've had, because it goes through quite a bit of flavor changes as you're actually eating it. Now inside there is going to be one seed. There's one medium-sized seed right in the middle of that, and that pit, I actually take the pit out of those and I save those and I plant those trees so that I've got more of those trees. But I'm telling you guys, this is way high on the list. This is might even be in my top 10 as far as unique flavor of fruit, and this is definitely one that everybody should try and try to find one of these trees. Like I said, the blacks are better than the reds in my opinion, but if you like things that are a little bit more sour, then you might enjoy the red ones a little bit more, whereas these have quite a bit of a sweet aftertaste. All right, guys, so that is it on this one. That's to arm you with some information and to maybe give you guys some new plants that you can start using for hedges and for privacy, especially because that seems to be one that is a little harder to come by, is the bushes for sure and the filler plants. So this is definitely what I would recommend: black Suriname cherry or the red Suriname cherry. All right, guys, please subscribe, and thank you for watching. And I will be doing a couple more videos definitely on some hedge type bushes to give you guys some privacy screening and to also give you guys some delicious fruit while you're at it. All right, guys, that is it. Thank you for watching.